All right, guys, this is a January 30th of 2021 collect. I've got some really early pictures of this guy where the initial chop was made. I chose some primary branch structure. I had a lot more branching on it and chose to cut back to 2 liters, and those 2 liters were here. So everything that's been grown out, I'll have some progress pictures that you can see today. I just wanted to give you an idea of some typical flat top bald cypress design. I'll just spin for you to kind of get an idea of what we're looking at. Guy interfering with the other. But I've mentioned previously, I think in another post, this is probably my healthiest tree. You'll see that in one of the pictures I include in this post. Just the fine roots is pretty crazy. So for me, with a flat top design, I probably won't keep 1, 2, 3, 4 along with the back branch. You know, this pushed. I may keep it. As you see, here's a knee, wonderful buttressing. You know, it does play with the angle of this chop, but that chop is going to roll pretty aggressively, as you see it already has, even in the last 2+ years since it's been collected. Really, last year since it's been carved into this chop. So. Couple things with this branch here. I like the idea of coming back on itself. So if I back up momentarily, a few people that have reached out on Instagram, some friends, some people who've bought trees, have talked about struggling to make some chops and where to choose for an apex, which branches, when you've got a whirl of 3, 5, 6 branches at the top, where to choose from. So for me, I like the movement here for this tree. It's already slightly slanted here, and I like it moving off to the opposite direction. Gives this branch, I think, a beautiful placement. Obviously put some movement in here with some wiring, but I like how this branch comes back on itself, and that's one of the features of a bald cypress, how they do that. Obviously apically dominant, so they're going to move to where you know, the path of least resistance, or the path to the sun. But I've got some branching lower back. I do like that I have one pushed right here closer to the trunk, about 1/2 inch, and it'll play in this area here. So here's the initial chop. Here's the second chop that I did, and I did a post on it. I don't have the date off top of it, but it's beginning to roll as well. Here in the last week, there was a leader here that I chopped. So I've put some wire, I've opened this up. So here to me is where it gets kind of the artist's discretion, or the design of the artist, and what designs they kind of lean into. I would challenge you, go look at some of the designs that John G. and Angel in South Carolina has. He's got a lot of really developed old bald cypress that he's done for a long time. One, he's a great guy. Two, he's extremely knowledgeable. He is the king of bald cypress, in my opinion. Does them with the most longevity and better than anybody in the country. But his apexes, he doesn't do a stair step that I've seen nearly as much. To me, and John and I talk somewhat often, he likes left and right, or back, front, you know, however you want to label it, but to play off each other with those angles, okay? Not necessarily bar branching, but the way he sees it in his backyard, if you want to call it, that's the way he tends to design these. He also does a lot of hollows, and that's not something that I have leaned into yet. carving large hollows into a trunk. But that's one of the things that he does an exceptional job with. So for me, this tree specifically, I've got a stair step in regards to, I've got an apex here that I'll continue to let these secondaries run and these tertiary branches run, and I'll also allow these to reach as well. Now, it's going to be not topped in terms of a haircut, but all these branches, this isn't going to end here and this isn't going to end here. They're going to be roughly at the same height. But the beauty of this silhouette, and with it being a deciduous, when it's completely without leaf, that's what you're going to see is the movement in these branches up top. I've left a lot more than probably what I'll keep, but I'm going to be a little more congested up here. Okay, so what I'm looking at now, this time of year, is the girth or diameter of these branches. Up top, we're going to be thicker than what we are down here. Otherwise, I would have to let these grow out a lot more. The premise behind the cypress flat top is a storm or something has broken off, lightning has broken off the top, and it's grown back out, and it's a much older version of what we try and reenact with bonsai, compared to a more juvenile looking redwood style that looks more Christmas tree like. So yeah, gonna girt these up, let them lignify, cut them back, and they'll bud back within. I'm gonna continue to let these go. I'm gonna continue to let these go slightly. I'm not gonna let this guy get too far into this space because it's gonna be filled with this. So yeah, hope it helps with some of the decisions you're making this time of year on a tree. Not immediately out of the water, it's a couple years, but you can see how quickly you can develop this tree species. Beautiful, beautiful tree to work with. So have a good one, guys. Peace.